sex easy. They don't have to, a lot of women aren't requiring a man to commit to her before they get it. So a man feels like, what's the point of marrying a woman when I can go down the street, I can go to the strip club and hook up with a stripper.
Woman explains why it's women's fault that men don't want to get married and why there are so many single mothers. Welcome to Manager Highlights Daily. In this video, a woman explains why it's women's fault that men don't want to get married and why there are so many single mothers. And we're going to break down why we agree with her. We're also going to add a couple things that she's missing when it comes to men refusing to get married to the modern woman. Now it's time for us to dive into this and do what we have to do. Because we men, we. We men, we.
Okay, if more women kept their legs closed until marriage, relationships would be better. The world would be a better place in some aspects as far as relationships, marriage. Okay, if more women saved themselves for marriage and did not allow a man access to her body without marrying her, it's not about manipulation, okay? It's about honoring the will of God and honoring your body, honoring your temple, okay?
This woman is gonna piss a lot of sisters off. She's right. Relationships would be better because the value of sex would increase, and with that, the value of the woman would increase with it, because you would have to marry her in order to get the punani. Now, marriage is supposed to be a serious commitment, so selecting the person you would want to marry should be a serious endeavor.
If more women kept their legs closed until marriage, there wouldn't be as many womanizers and players out here getting with women, screwing them good and then leaving them for good. There wouldn't be there wouldn't be as many single mothers out here. Have 5 or 6 kids, 3 or 4 kids by 5 different men, and the man walked off and left her. That would not happen.
Take a look at this graph right here, link in the description. In 1970, there was a spike, an increase of single mothers, and it's not a coincidence, because a lot of shit happened in the 70s that changed the dynamic between men and women. Some of the things are the no-fault divorce law and sexual liberation. Womanists don't understand that they have liberated men from the responsibilities that they used to have, creating paradise for these players and womanizers. So when women get pregnant, they will have to carry the bulk of the responsibilities because it's their body and their choice.
Iced tea, lemonade and cola are great, but those empty calories, not so much. With Air Up, you taste your favourite flavours with all the benefits of drinking water. How does it work? With every sip, 100% natural aroma reaches your nose. This sends taste signals to your brain, making you think you're drinking your favourite flavours, without calories, sweeteners or any other nonsense. Find your flavour now at air-up.co.uk.
You would fancy them to get the 3 points that they need to finish top, and I do see them as the best team in this group.
I had back pain for years.
Broke my back, motorcycle accident. Every bone hurt.
And the pain. I'd never felt pain like that. All life.
I'm gonna fix you. I've been gathering evidence, patient files. He is closing in on 24 botched surgeries. Was like he knew what he was supposed to do, and he did the exact opposite. The question isn't why he did it, it's how he got away with it.
He needs to be stopped.
There's a reason it's never been done. They're living in the past.
If more women were celibate like me until marriage, there wouldn't be as many STDs.
That was cold. Look at this. Reported STDs reach all-time high for 6th consecutive year. Take a look at this graph, link in the description. STD, sexual transmitted disease. The record gets broken every year. Women definitely play a huge role in this. Why? Because women are the gatekeepers of sex. At the end of the day, they decide if they will let you. So if women keep their legs closed, the STD rate will drop.
Wouldn't be as many sexually transmitted diseases. These womanizers and players out here are sleeping around with women who give it up easy. They're just sleeping around. These women out here are just giving it up. No commitment from a man. They just give it up. And that's why there's so many players and womanizers out here, because they know that they can get it easy, no commitment.
SMV, sexual market value. The value of Punani has dropped big time, and these players know it. If you don't want to give it up, your friend will. The moment you smash women on the first date, you don't want to go back. Because now you know it's possible. And if the girl doesn't want to give it up, it's on to the next one. More about this later, because she's talking about players and womanizers.
And that's why there are so many men who don't want to get married. They don't want to get married because why buy the cow when they're getting the milk for free?
Like Black Ram says, this is therapeutic, man.
A lot of women are out here screwing around, no commitment, and they have lowered the standard. And it's the woman's fault why there's so many womanizers and players out here. It's the woman's fault why there are so many single mothers out here. If the woman didn't open up her legs, and this is coming from a woman, I'm a woman myself, and I'm not ashamed to say this. It's the woman's fault why there are so many single mothers. It takes two to tango. It takes two to have sex. But if the woman didn't open up her legs and allow a man access to her body before marriage, she would not be a single mother. 3 or 4 different kids by 4 different baby daddies. I mean, that's just crazy. That's crazy. And unfortunately, this is the way things are.
This is what's missing in our community and in our society. Women holding each other accountable for their actions. There is a big reason why women don't hold each other accountable. Check this out.
And what you have to realize, at the end of the day, who does the decision lie with, whether or not they had an abortion? It lies with the woman. So that responsibility lies with you. So you have to protect yourself. That's what people are saying. If you choose to get pregnant, that is your choice. You allow that, and that's why they're saying it lies with the woman.
First of all, who are you? Jessica?
Yes.
I'm sorry, sis. Okay, I don't know where you come from. So listen, men are the responsibility of eating in the woman, okay? Yes.
You opened your legs to
You have the responsibility of abortion. But the man is responsible for feeding in the woman. So I don't know whose side you're on, sis.
The sisterhood is not going to allow it. Women love to be in this position where they don't have to take responsibility for their actions. It's childish, and women are like children, but in the body of a grown-up. Let's take it a step further.
Definitely I think that testing needs to be mandatory. It's like,
the United States making DNA testing mandatory is stupid. I don't think that, you know, it's something that if you feel like you need a DNA test, go do that on your own time because you feel that way. I don't think every person, there's millions of people in the United States. Like, it doesn't make sense that people could be using that time to do other things. Like, you could be saving a life. You could be in a hospital saving a life.
How much proof do you need? Women are quick to blame men for everything, but when men take action to protect themselves and take responsibility for their actions, these women do not want to cooperate. Why do females have a problem with mandatory DNA testing? Why? Because it would expose their asses and take away their get-out-of-jail-free card. You'll be surprised how many fathers are not the biological father of their child and how many women are single mothers by choice. It all works in their favor.
This is the way the world is. Women are giving up their body. They get pregnant. Now they're a single mother because the man, the bastard, done walked off and left her with 2, 3 kids, 4 kids. If women kept their legs closed and saved their bodies for marriage, the divorce rate wouldn't be so damn high. The marriage rate, more people would be getting married.
This girl doesn't add any value to a man's life. She looks good. However, you will not keep a man just with your looks and sex alone. There are also no benefits for a man to get married in this society. What do I get when I get married? Do I get a house? Earn more money? Healthcare benefits? What do I get for getting married? It's a raw deal for...
Why do I care so much what people think about me? I think I'm gay.
These men out here, these players and womanizers and toxic men have women on rotation. They have 6 women or more on rotation that they're screwing without a commitment.
Pretty soon in the next week or two.
And they get accustomed to that lifestyle. They get used to that lifestyle. And then when they get 30, 40 years old, they don't want to settle down because they're just used to that lifestyle. They might change, but most of these men out here don't want to change. They don't want to change. They want to continue to, be a player, be a womanizer.
Like I said before, she talks about players and womanizers. You also have men that are tired of this foolishness we consistently expose right here on this channel. Check out our How Much Proof Do You Need series and you will be flabbergasted. You do not want to engage with modern women. Brothers are getting their passports and they are exploring other options. Most guys are not players. Most guys are not Chads and Tyrones. And most guys do not make 6 figures. You're talking about men in their 30s and 40s. They're just looking for some peace of mind. Can a brother be happy?
And now, these good women out here like myself, it's only making it harder for us, women of God. Because these women out here, there's women, in the porn industry having sex for a living. They done slept with over 100 men, over 200 men, over 300 men. That adds up. That's a high body count. Now, if you've only been with like 5 men, 6 men, under 10 men, that's a low body count.
Under 10 is a low body count? Excuse me, miss, but you said you're a woman of God. More than 3 is already too much, especially when there's no marriage before you have sex. You said it yourself. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? By the time these females realize that they can't keep a man on the basis of sex alone, the damage is already done.
Their coochie has a lot of mileage, and that is not what a man wants to settle down with. A woman who's done been with over 100 men. No. You ladies have to start raising the standard. The standard is down here when it should be up here.
This video has officially been highlighted.
Something is coming. A rumble in the jungle of tech.
You told Harpo to beat me. All my life I had to fight. I had to fight my daddy. I had to fight my uncles. I had to fight my brothers. God ain't safe in the family hands. But I ain't never thought I had to fight in my own house. I love Harpo. God knows I do. But I kill him dead before I let him beat me.
The foolishness of Harpo and Oprah Sophia. The Color Purple. Welcome to Ministry Highlights Daily. The movie The Color Purple, released in 1985, provoked constant controversy, debate, and appraisals of its effects on the image of black people in the U.S. Black men protested because there's literally no quote-unquote good black man in this movie that plays a significant role.
Understands why black men react negatively to The Color Purple. They know that they get more than their share of negative imagery in movies, on TV, that they're portrayed in some way as
Wars. In this video, we want to highlight the dynamics between Harpo and Sophia and take what we can learn from it. Shout out to the Patreon gang! Salute! The original video is going to be on Patreon because we have to respect the YouTube guidelines. That's why you will get a censored and filtered YouTube-friendly version. So if you like what we do, and do you want to experience our content to the fullest extent, support us on Patreon. This video contains a lot of spoilers, so you've been warned. Now it's time for us to dive into this and do what we have to do. Because we meant it, we. We meant it, we.
Hey, Harpo!
And that's what you want out of your defenders.
Hey!
Romelu Lukaku.
I come down when I get ready!
They've worked this attack very well. It's a position there.
Harpo is clearly a weakling. He has no backbone. And this buffoonery is common in movies these days. Just watch Netflix. You can't miss it. Now look at this scene right here.
Dear God, Harpo be in love with a girl called Sophia. And she be a big girl. It's to say he wanna have a look at her. I see them coming way up the road. They just be marching like going to war.
This is why we love movies so much. The exaggeration is over 9,000. This scene says a lot about the dynamics between Harpo and Sophia. Harpo is a follower, a beta male. Sophia is the masculine one and is wearing the pants in the relationship. Harpo cannot do any better because he's a boneless chicken. Most women are not interested in Harpo, and most men are not interested in Sophia, a fat woman with a jacked up attitude. But Harpo is exactly Sophia's type. Look at this next scene.
Oh, this is Sophia. Sophia's a pretty name. Sophia. Let's go get married.
What does this mean for their next game? Well, Manchester.
Look like you got yourself in trouble.
No, sir, I ain't in no trouble. Big though.
Who the daddy?
Harpo.
How you know that?
He know because he's the only one.
You clearly see who's wearing the pants in this movie. It's very clear that Harpo's father, Mr. Albert Johnson, did a terrible job raising him to become a man. He clearly knows his son is in trouble. He's asking an interesting question. Who's the daddy? And how we know that? There were no DNA tests back then, and that is what marriage's primary purpose was, to bind women to men and guarantee that a man's children were truly his biological heirs. All that love and romance came later. Couples were brought together for practical reasons, and I'll come back to that later.
Young women no good these days. Got their legs open for every Tom, Dick, and Harp.
Young women are no good these days, and they got their legs open for every Tom, Dick, and Harpo. The film is currently set in 1915, 1920, and 100 years later, 2021, young women have their legs open for every Chad and Tyrone. It only got worse for the black family. Children out of wedlock, all-time high. Single motherhood, all-time high. The majority of black women are fat like Oprah in this movie. The split, the gap between black men and black women is too big to close that only a catastrophe at this point can bring us back together. And let me tell you something. Prepare yourself, because this catastrophe is around the corner.
No need to think I'm gonna let my boy marry you just cause you in the family way. Ain't cold enough. He young and feminine. Pretty gal like you can put anything on him.
See the look on her face? She's like, I'm not gonna do that. You don't need to get to know a woman for years to know what type of woman you're dealing with. This is the look that black women will give you when they hear the word submission. They think about this movie. You have to understand, this movie was big when it came out in 1985. And it did exactly what it needed to do. Push that agenda.
What I need to marry Harpo for? He living here with you? What food and clothes he get? You buy?
Cause I know your daddy throwed you out. Ready to live in the street, I guess.
No, sir. I ain't living in no streets. I'm living with my sister and her husband, and they say I can live with them for the rest of my life if I want to. I don't need you to know me. I'm take care of myself with my baby. I can take care of my baby all by myself for a nice business. Now, you stay
Say whatever you want about Harpo, but he's dealing with a woman that is not here to cooperate with him, her father, or anyone else. It's gonna be her way or the highway. Check this out.
Miss Millie always going on over the cup.
Your children are so clean. Would you like to work for me? Be my maid?
Hell no.
What did you say?
Hell no.
What did she say?
Hey, can't you pump that crude a little faster?
Gail, what did you say to Miss Millie? I said hell.
There's a difference between being brave and being foolish. When a soldier is behind enemy lines and the circumstances are not in his advantage, it's not smart to provoke the enemy. And then double down on it, triple down on it. And when the enemy attacks, you engage in a full-fledged battle. You can't win and lose a lot more than your life in the process.
Oh, Miss Sophia. No, Miss Sophia, no!
When Sophia gets out of prison, it will be around 1935. You have to understand that these were horrible times for black people to act foolishly. Take a look at this article. Prosecutor defends lynching of 2 boys as will of the people. Wouldn't call them a mob, he says of Texans who executed Negroes for attack on Curl. Judge calls hangings justice. On November 12, 1935, 2 teenage black boys, 15-year-old Ernest Collins and 16-year-old Benny Mitchell, were killed in Colorado County, Texas, in a public spectacle lynching committed by a mob of at least 700 white men and women. Afterward, officials called the lynching quote-unquote justice, and no one in the mob was punished. In October 1935, a young white woman's body was found in a creek near her family's farm in Columbus, Texas. When local officials concluded she has been murdered, suspicion soon focused on Ernest Collins and Benny Mitchell, 2 black teens who had been seen picking pecans near the same creek. During this era, the deep racial hostility that permeated Southern society burdened black people with a presumption of guilt that often served to focus suspicion on black communities after a crime was discovered, whether evidence supported that suspicion or not. Teenage boys without evidence, without a fair trial, murdered in cold blood. This would continue for a long time. 20 years later, 1955, Emmett Till, a 14-year-old boy, was murdered in cold blood. Not just black men, but black boys were also going through hell. So the last thing that you need is a woman that doesn't understand what's going on and is not willing to cooperate with you for the better. In this movie, they blame Sophia's actions on Harpo.
And they're gonna turn out a heap better than these fools you never tried to raise.
Now, hold on here.
No, hold on, Harpo. If you hadn't tried to rule over Sophia, white folks never would have got her.
Now, that's a lie. Now, that's a lie.
The foolishness. And this is why women are shocked when they hear what we have to say in the manosphere, when we hold them accountable for their actions. Women are so used to blaming everything on men and getting away with it that when they hear men present legitimate arguments to prove their case, it is mind-boggling to them. And that's why the manosphere is growing, because what we say makes sense and is backed up with evidence. How much proof do you need? It's not our responsibility to protect women that do not respect us. Women who deliberately treat us with disrespect and act a fool in public, leading to unnecessary drama with the expectations that men are gonna be there to sacrifice their lives for this foolishness. Now Celia is talking about Harpo trying to rule over Sophia. Check this out.
Harpo?
Harpo!
I won't.
I will.
I do.
Now, Sophia, do you take this man to be your lawful wedded husband, that you will love, honor, and cherish him, and that forsaking all others for him alone, you will perform unto him all the duties that a wife owes to a husband? You will perform unto him all the duties that a wife owes to a husband.
Until God by death shall separate you. I do.
A Christian wife has a specific role in her marriage. The reason Sophia happily says I do is because she gets married for the wrong reasons. You want to get married because you want to wear that white dress. You want to get married because you want a wedding. In 1920, you didn't have Instagram, otherwise you would be marrying to splash all of your wedding pictures on social media. You don't want to be a wife, especially not the wife described in the Bible. Let's read. What should be the wife's role in marriage? 1. Be a helper to your husband. While all of us are called to be helpers to others, the Bible places a special emphasis on this responsibility.
Okay,
you don't have to be here, man. You don't have to.
Oh, no, I'm about to leave, but really quick. So your advice to men is to tell women...
Again.
Kevin, that was not nice.
Whoa, why was that not nice? She was being
That's how you
How
have
was
to
that
do
not
it.
nice?
That's how you have to do it.
And I'm just really curious as to, since that video has happened, have you reached out to her to maybe just say anything like, you know, I'm sorry that, you know, it came across the way that it did, or, you know, anything to her to just kind of say, like, maybe my tone or maybe what I said and my frustration that you weren't respecting, you know, what I was trying to do that night with my show led me to act the way that I did. Because when I saw it, I was stunned.
Well, you know what I find interesting? Is that you expect a man who's running a business when a woman who's an avid viewer of the show called in on an inappropriate day, and I did my level best to talk to this woman, irrespective of my platform. And for 23 minutes, I tried to give her exactly what she wanted. So, and no, has she called me to say, you know what, sir, I'm sorry for calling in on the wrong day. I know I should have did that. I'm sorry for not paying attention, picking up my phone, doing that. I'm sorry for laughing and acting inappropriate. See, but that's the way the conversation's always been. It's always on the black man to bend over backwards and come back to queen black woman and beg for your forgiveness. It ain't gonna happen. I said what I meant, and I meant what I said. That's why it's up.
Okay, and that's fine. Okay, so you didn't. So my thing is this,
I didn't, nor should I. I didn't, and I don't, and nor should I have been expected.
Okay, and that's fine. That's your it's your show, it's your decision. But this is the other thing. If you are because I'm on television as well, and if you have your own show and somebody is doing something that you find disrespectful to your show, just like you hung up on me, you could have hung up on her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't even have to continue having the
Please
conversation.
don't tell me what I should or should not do.
I didn't say you. I said you could
Look,
have.
Rochelle, I could have done a lot of things, but I did what I did.
Yeah, I know you did. I'm just saying.
Okay, but here's the thing. You're just saying, but here's the thing. I find it very rich. We are always telling men what we should do. They told Kevin Kelly what he should do in his restaurant, too. He put $1 million plus into a business during the pandemic to employ black people. And because he said, get the fuck out, I don't need your money, they wanted to cancel the brother. 82% of men say there are no marriageable women on the market. When are you ladies going to start listening to men instead of telling us what we should do?
Exactly.
I didn't say, okay.
Yes, you have.
I didn't say, I did not say I didn't say you had to do that, but what I'm saying is.
Well, why would you think it's on why would you think it's on me to reach out to this woman and call her? She is not a poor.
We moved past that, Kevin.
Hold on, no. But the thing is, hold on. But my question is, I didn't ask you a follow-up question. Why would I need to follow up with a middle-aged entrepreneur, 35-year-old business owner, mother of one, to coddle her feelings like she's a wounded little bird?
That's not what I said. I asked you I asked you if you did. I didn't say that you should have. I didn't say that you needed to. I just asked you a question. That's it. You didn't do it. Okay, moving on. I never said you needed to do anything. I just asked you.
But you asked the question for a reason. Okay. And the thing is, if I were Gordon Ramsay, if I were Simon Cowell, I wouldn't be asked, well, did you really have to be the ways when you told that person they're a ghastly singer? Did you send them a message and say I shouldn't have said it?
Simon Cowell is a narcissist and an asshole too. So, I mean, there's no difference between them two.
Oh, okay, two. Interesting, two.
I don't think she believed she was a 5 either.
But my question is, when did it become so most people are average or normal?
You know, I feel like, okay, so you told her she was average at best. So I was not offended by that.
What does that mean? Let me explain what average at best means. When you are a 5 when you wake up, that means most of the times you are average. At best, you are a 6. So over your lifetime, you're average at best, and we're only getting old. Gravity is only taking more of effect. We know how this works.
Okay, so aside from that, I think what Rochelle is referring to is like, and what you said is you called her broad, you told her to get the F off of your phone. You know, I think you said men don't need to speak to women as women. Then what should they speak to them as? Like how?
No, speak to men. No, we don't need to speak to women like we're women.
Oh, like you're women. Okay, I understand. But the thing is, like, it was your delivery. If that's how you decide to deliver things, it's okay. Everybody has their way.
No, actually, really, let's be honest. Really, it isn't. Really, it's not okay. It's not okay, or else it wouldn't be such a backlash.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think part of the reason you do that is because it draws. You know, it draws attention too.
No. See. We don't ask men questions. We tell them what we do. You tell me what I do. You have a chance to ask me any question you want, and you're telling me about it.
Okay, so why do you do that then? Like, why did you speak to her that way?
Because it was deserved at that point. Did you watch the entire 23-minute video?
Hold up, I'm sorry.
Don't, please don't. Was that Rochelle?
Watching her.
Yes, it was Rochelle, but...
No, that's not going to work, ma'am.
Okay,
you don't have to be here. You don't have to.
Oh no, I'm about to leave, but really quick. So your advice to men is to tell women.
Again.
Kevin, that was not nice.
Whoa, why was that not nice? She was being wrong.
That's how you have to do it. That's how you have to do it.
Stop. That is what the black community is used to. One-way aggression. You're used to women being able to be verbally aggressive and abusive to men, and we're just supposed to take it. I won't.
Was that woman? So the reason why
Ma'am, let me also say this. That woman is a professional. You know how to conduct yourself, but see, the thing is, black men are men not. There is a low-level contempt and lack of respect for the overall black male image. So when black men finally respond, you question us as to why we responded. Well, I tell you what, if Isaac and I were dialoguing back and forth, we would have to understand that there's a line that we don't cross because there's a low-level threat of violence between men. Between a man and a woman, you guys have no consequences. You're completely protected to where you can see a woman who's 5 foot something, 100 and something, calling a 6 foot, 300 pound, you punk motherfucker, piece of shit, nigga, and that has an effect. Men are not doing this anymore. You want to be respected? I have hundreds of hours of me speaking to women with respect because it was given. I mirror back what I get. You're not submitted to okay. Our relationships today, who's submitting to who? You can't even say the word submit to a sister.
In the air here. It's got all
you're supposed to. So what are you submitted to? We got a 51. What's the divorce rate in the black community? It's higher than the national average, but 8 out of 10 divorces are filed by women. Even if you say half of the divorces are filed for the worst parts of the Bible, adultery, this, that, fully half women are walking away from men that do not deserve to have a Tyler husband or have a wife. That still gives us 4 out of 10.
Marcus Rashford is the main man up front. This is the outer line. Is the goalkeeper today. On the outside, he's looking shaky in recent games. We'll see how the striking. He's got the ball away as well.
When things break, is throwing them away the only choice we have? We say no. Because at Loctite, we believe objects that can be repaired should be repaired. But we need your help as fixers, doers, and makers. It's time to fix our throwaway society together, and every repair counts. So instead of chasing the latest trend, let's recreate and mend. It starts with the little things, the small fixes. We don't need a revolution to make a change. We just need a drop. Because drop by drop, we can make it happen. So just do it. Simply do it. Again and again. Say no to waste. Say yes to repair. Say yes to Loctite for a second chance.
Big file. We have to look at what's going on with women today. We've always asked what's going on with the men until we start to have an unflinching look at where women are today in relation to what, and women ask what men want. Because men want one simple thing across the board. They simply want cooperation. And if the rank and file man feels like he can't get cooperation, that's what's going to lead to 82% of men saying that they don't believe women are out here to be marriageable. And we can sit back and call the men and question the men, and that's typical stuff to tell the men to give the men new tools to use and de-escalate. But what you never do is you never go to the women and say, hey, how about you just don't come in here with all that? How about you get some therapy and talk through and figure out what's going on with you, the reason why you feel like you need to move through the world that way.
Ready to listen to everything you guys have to say, but if we could definitely acknowledge that.
Let me also say something, because many people aren't familiar with the content I made previously for men. I openly tell guys, look, I don't want to hear about your problems. The world does not owe you understanding. Beauty costs. You want a beautiful woman, a fit woman, you want her to be all these things, that you better pay the cost to be cost. I don't do this shit. I tell a man that you need to be working 60 hours a week minimum, but you get paid for it. Not get off internet, get off Instagram, get out of these spaces, go get a job. I don't care if you got to clean toilets. I have. Go get a job at a convenience store. Do it. Check your pride. You shouldn't have pride and empty pockets. Because I think there's a big problem, because so many of our women, I was raised by a single mother, and my father wasn't around too. I get it. And many men were not raised to be the masculine, strong men that you're starting to hear so many men step into. We're all broken. The black community, that's why I say we all need therapy. And I like to hear when I hear women say that they're trying to get their shit together, men are trying to get their shit stuff together, because then we can approach each other with some grace, some empathy, and understand that, you know, we're better together than apart. But I am very tough on guys, because at the end of the day, it is our responsibility to build in your nest. There is a reason so many women cannot feel comfortable resting in their femininity, because so many men have dropped the ball. I have. I'm not perfect, and I never try to make myself seem like I'm perfect. You've been divorced twice, that's right, but that don't mean your marriage can't work once. And that's what I'm ultimately getting to. We have to get past the messenger and who said what and try to get to the greater outcome. How do we start making more healthy black couples? Because this is some bullshit. 50-year marriages filings in 2019 were at a 50-year high. Divorces were at a 50-year low. Black community has a $1.1 trillion spending power, and people get rich off of us because we are not together. And we have people on all sides of the arguments. That's why what I've done with this newfound spotlight is reach out and see where the counselors, the therapists, the relationship coaches, the femininity instructors, the matchmakers, all the resources. All right,